guys, we're back at Sweet and Savory with Anya. So today we're going to be making the easiest donuts. So these are the ingredients that we will need. Now for the main donuts, you will need self-raising flour and plain yogurt. And for the glaze, you will need milk, castor sugar, vanilla essence, and unsalted butter. Now you can use unsalted butter. And for the castor sugar, you can use raw sugar or any type of sugar and just blend it in the mixer. And basically, castor sugar is just powdered sugar. So if you do not have castor sugar, you can just make your own powdered sugar. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to need the dough. So to do that, you need to add flour. So a cup of self-raising flour and around 10 to 11 tablespoons, as you can see, of plain yogurt. But one step before you put the plain yogurt into the bowl, what you're going to do is you're going to just mix it a bit because yogurt is a bit lumpy and very thick, so you need to dilute it a little bit, but by just a bit mixing, and then you just put it into the bowl and then you mix it. Just scrape out the yogurt nicely so that it's all in the plain flour bowl. And now what you do, you mix with a spatula, or you can basically use a spoon or your hands and just mix. And then now what I'm going to do, I'm going to tip over the bowl and put some flour on the working plate so that it does not stick to the bench. And you just keep kneading it with your hands nicely, as you can see. The goal here is to bring everything together into a nice clean ball. So now what you do is you're gonna take some cling wrap, a little bit of it, and grease it with some oil
or butter. Now take the dough and wrap it inside the cling wrap that we just oiled or buttered. And now what we're gonna do is put that aside for at least 30 minutes for it to rest. In the meantime, while our dough is resting, we're gonna make our beautiful glaze. Now if you do not want to make a glaze for your donuts and you want to just eat them like that, you can just skip this part and just go to the frying pot for the donuts. But I'm just gonna warn you that the donut dough does not have any sugar in it, so you're gonna have to top it with something to make it sugary. You can add cinnamon and sugar, or basically whatever you want. So now we're gonna make our glaze. So for that you will need, so the first step to making the glaze is to melting the butter. Now you can do that in the microwave, or you can do that on the pan like I am doing on a really low heat. Now we do not need to burn the butter, just to melt it. Once you're done melting the butter, just put it aside. And now what you do is going to take a bowl and you're going to put some castor sugar in it. Or remember, as I told you before, you can use any type of sugar and blend it into the mixer. So you're going to add 1.5 cup of castor sugar. And by the way, the butter is about 50 to 70 grams, so you have to melt that much, and then you add that in. And also you put 1 teaspoon vanilla essence and a pinch of salt if you want, and milk. So milk you have to put depending on how much you want your glaze, how thin you want it to be. So I started with 5 tablespoons of milk, but my glaze, as you can see, became really thick, so I had to put a lot more. So I think in total I put around 3/4 of a cup milk. I think that's how much I put around, but you have to see how thin your glaze is. Every time I thought my glaze was a bit thick, I added around 5 tablespoons extra, so you can see how thin you want your glaze and how thick you want it. This is the consistency you want the glaze to be. If you want it to be, the donut to be really sticky and nice. As you can see, now that my dough is finally been rested for 30 minutes, now I'm going to start rolling it out. So you unwrap your dough from the cling wrap and you sprinkle a little bit of flour on your bench top, and you take the mixture, the dough, and you roll it out with your rolling pin. So make sure that it's really thin. You want it to be around this thin. You can see I'm showing you. So this is how thin my dough was, and that worked out perfectly. So that's how thin your dough should also be. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out the donuts. So how I did that, I used a little tiny shot glass. Now you can use whatever you want, but remember, your donuts have to be small. Now if they're really mini, it does not matter, but if they're too big, they're not gonna properly they're not going to be proper when you make them. So you better make them really small so that they turn out good. So now I cut out the shape that I wanted, like a round circle shape, and the inside, to make the smaller circle in the middle, I used quite a different, like I used lots of different techniques, but once they didn't work. So the main technique I used was to use the back of a wooden spoon and just press it into the middle, as you can see what I'm doing. And then you just kind of make a hole through it, and that's how the donuts are supposed to look. But you can just make them without the hole inside, and the shape will just be different. They will taste exactly the same. So now we're going to fry the donuts. Now if you are little, you're going to need some adult supervision, or you can let them help you. So what we're going to do is we're going to take now use the slotted spoon to put, as you can see, I just put lots of donuts on it like that. So I just do that and put the slotted spoon into the pan and just let it stay there. In seconds you will see the donuts floating to the top, and then you just keep frying them until golden brown. Now your donuts are ready, and you take them from the pan and you put them into the glaze and glaze them nicely, and then you put them onto a plate, and your donuts are ready. Now you can put some cinnamon on top of them, anything you want. And now your donuts are ready to eat, and they're so yummy. And please tell me in the comment below if they work for you. And yep, this is the end of this video. Like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified every single time I post another video. And before I go, look at those nice air bubbles inside the donuts. So I hope you enjoy them. Bye.